Coming up next, we have business and immigration law updates. World business transactions, rules, regulations, and legal matters change with the revolving world. In the immigration arena, one always has questions about H-1 visas. To keep us abreast with these movements, attorney Ramesh Khurana from the Khurana Law Firm will take the lead. The Khurana Law Firm is located in Rockville, Maryland. Along with attorney Khurana in dialogue is Dr. Rajesh Mehra. Together, these two professionals will focus on the different issues and statuses regarding H-1B visas.
We talked about ceilings in regard to green card numbers, like there is a per country ceiling of 7%, but there is no per country ceiling for H-1B. So that's a good news.
That is good news.
That's a good news. And so most of the IT people...
And that's mostly IT, isn't it?
Major portion goes
majority.
to IT. Major portion goes to IT. So I would say out of 40 to 50%, at least 30%. This is just my guess.
Right.
And I don't know whether those kinds of statistics are available
Right.
anywhere.
Well, just from your experience, yeah.
As we see from the flow of number of applications which come to our law office.
Right.
So we can say that that number goes to IT sector. That's
a pretty interesting statistic. We know that, and I'm not sure of this statistic as I sit here talk with you, what percent of IT people in the U.S. are Indian background? You know, that's something that would be good to know.
Yeah, so you can roughly estimate when every year out of 65,000, at least 40% people
30,000.
Yeah, so coming from India.
30,000.
So this number keeps on accumulating. Every year.
Amazing.
Yeah, so that's a phenomenal growth of IT consultants coming from India.
Right. Now, Attorney Khurana, when you are working with somebody with H-1B and I come to your office or something, obviously you have a certain amount of questions you go through to see if they're going to qualify for this?
Yes, Dr. Mehra, because we have to do that evaluation to make sure that person qualifies for the H-1B position. And at the same time, we have to evaluate like what are the credentials of the company or the business who is going to file the petition. Here, the company which files an H-1B petition, that company is called the petitioner, and the person or the applicant for whom it is filed, that person is called the beneficiary. So it's a function of petitioner and the beneficiary. So both of them should qualify as per regulation requirements of H-1B. Like we mentioned in our conversation earlier, the main requirement is whether for that particular position for which this vacancy is created, whether that position would need a minimum of bachelor degree or not. That's number one. Then, of course, you look at the experience of the candidate. And number three, you will see how long he has been on H-1B visa.
I see.
Because a person cannot stay here on H-1B visa status indefinitely.
How long can they stay?
Well, under normal circumstances, the maximum permissible stay is 6 years.
Okay.
But this can be extended under certain exceptions. So those exceptions, circumstances, probably we will discuss
on another time. Sure.
Because that's a whole topic in itself. But we can say the cap is 6 years to begin with, unless certain other steps are...
As long as the employer is continuing to file or support that.
That's the key.
Right.
Without the sponsorship of the employer, the beneficiary's petition doesn't exist.
I see.
It's only the employer who files the H-1B petition.
Right.
Yeah. So, but of course, as I said, there should be a good match between the employer and the employee.
Right.
Employer has to provide the position, and employee has to match the qualification and other work experience requirements as required by the business.
Got it. Now, what about the petitioner in this case? If I'm sort of getting familiar with this lingo, the company. If I have a company that has 20 employees versus a company with 10,000 employees, is that going to make the people reviewing the application go in one favor or the other?
Dr. Mehra, as a matter of principle, the size of the company doesn't matter much.
Okay.
But at the same time, if it is a large size company, it becomes much easier to send the right message that there is a need for the person.
this
That doesn't
person.
mean that a company which is employing just 10 people will not qualify. But the problem sometimes is when the company is very small. So you have to show that this person has got specialty occupation work or H-1B work for full time. Let us say a company. Let me give you a practical example
Yeah, that
of
would
your
be good.
company.
Oh, my company. Okay.
Let's say
very small company.
Yes. Let's say your medical practice
Needs a
says
doctor.
that we instead of doctor of course you will hire. You say that I want to hire an accountant.
Okay.
Okay. Now the question is whether the accountant has got full-time job of the accountant or not.
In my office.
In your office.
Right.
Because if it doesn't have 100% of accountant job, then this is
They're
going
not
to be
gonna
a problem.
qualify, right.
If you say that my accountant is going to pick up the phone and he is going to talk to customers, or sometimes he is going to help other doctors in your practice, then he is not doing
Going to
100%
qualify.
accountant's job. So then the size of the company becomes an issue. But at the same time, if you are a large size practice and you are hiring, let's say, 100 doctors, so presumably there is a lot of accounting work
to be done.
right?
I understand. Right.
So then we will have to explain in the petition that this person will be spending 100% of his time
taking care of the business.
on accounting work only. If we can justify that, then this petition will be approved. So size of the company matters
Sort
in
of
that respect.
matters in terms of that.
It plays some role. Yes, it does.
Exactly. Well, this has been quite interesting, all these factors that you have mentioned to us. And we want to continue picking your brain, continue appreciating your taking time out from your busy practice and sharing with our audience. I hope that you keep your questions emailing to us and topics that you want us to discuss that are concerning you. We're happy to discuss those on our upcoming segments that will continue on this business and law segment. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Mehra. Thank you
you.
for inviting me here today.
Absolutely.
Thank you.